Bring us up, please. Okay, Bannock County Commissioners are now in session. Ask for a motion to go into the Board of Equalization.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we enter into the Board of Equalization.
We have a motion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, we'll have the Deputy Clerk swear in everybody that is going to participate in any hearing during this hour.
Do you solemnly swear that any testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Yes.
Thank you. Dave, come on up. So this is the process, and this is what we're doing here today. This is a hearing of the Board of Equalization under Idaho Code 63. You can go ahead and have a seat. 501, our 63-501, the Board of County Commissioners are required to convene as the BOE. We're here to determine market value under Idaho Code 63-205. All real, personal, and operating property subject to property taxation must be assessed annually at market value for assessment purposes as of 12:01 a.m. of the first day of January in the year in which such property taxes are levied. Furthermore, under Idaho Code 63-502, the function of the Board of Equalization shall be confined strictly to assuring that the market value for assessment purposes of property has been found by the assessor, and to the functions provided for in Chapter 6, Title 63, Idaho Code, relating to exemptions and from taxation. It is hereby made the duty of the Board of Equalization to enforce and compel a proper classification and assessment of all property required under the provisions of this title to be entered on the property rolls. And in so doing, the Board of Equalization shall examine the rolls and shall raise or cause to be raised or lower or cause to be lowered the assessment of any property which in the judgment of the Board has not been properly assessed. The taxpayer shall have the burden of proof in seeking affirmative relief to establish that the determination of the assessor is erroneous, including any determination of assessed value. A preponderance of the evidence shall suffice to sustain the burden of proof. We are here to discuss the market value of the property, the condition, state, or information that is relevant to this topic. This is fact, not conjecture, or things you may think. We are not here to discuss taxes, past grievances, policy, personal income, or other issues. If you do not stick to the discussion as requested, your time will be reclaimed. So the process will be that the property owner will be given 3 minutes. The white light will blink here, and when the yellow light goes on, there's 1 minute left. When the red light goes on, your time is up, and there will be a buzzer go off. Then we can ask some questions. Then the assessor's table will be given 3 minutes. We'll ask questions about what they said. The commissioners will talk and then make a decision. Rules are: be kind, direct all questions or comments to the board, which is Commissioner Crowder and myself. If your conduct is out of line, you will be warned, and if it continues to be out of line, you will be escorted from the premises by the marshals. Okay, go ahead and introduce yourself, and then your 3 minutes will begin.
My name's David Hardick. I'm here to represent the property at 9 Hawthorne Avenue. I'm the property owner since 1998. This is an old apartment unit. Only parking available to the tenants is on-street parking with no sidewalks. The value currently proposed is not aligning with the current market trends, which is showing a consistent reduction in current market values of properties here in all southeast Idaho. And to add to that, the value assessed is supposed to represent the property in a condition to be placed on the market. Fair market value, it's ready to be marketed, from what I understand. And that's not the case with 9 Hawthorne Avenue. The unit depreciation is a consistent problem, and attempted upgrades to this unit have been damaged or destroyed by tenants. For example, the photos submitted show prior to even finishing the installation of exterior siding, the tenants have melted the siding with barbecuers. They've spray painted the siding. They've ran into the siding with vehicles. It's right on the corner. Actually, Pocatello Police has run into it and smashed my siding and caused damages. They've never been repaired. The siding never got finished. The back wall's not done. but not just the exterior, the interior's been damaged by tenants. The trees at the unit are causing problems with the old sewer lines. I constantly have to get drains with snakes that'll chew the lines out because of the tree growth. The trees is down here by Riverside Drive attracts all these box elder bugs, and the tenants keep telling me we have bug problems, and when I go, it's not cockroaches or nothing. It's an infestation of stuff because of these trees that need taken out. They're attracted to the trees with the leaves that are like a propeller type thing. So I've got tens of thousands of dollars worth of tree work if we were to look at the mature trees and what's happening over there. The interior of the units are old. The kitchen cabinets have never been updated. There's no dishwashers. There's no light fixtures even in the front rooms. Like, that's the design of that build year of like 1948 to 52. You had galvanized plumbing, old wiring. None of this stuff, I don't believe, has been considered, or I have had an opportunity to review that with the assessor. They've never came into the insides. I don't even know if they could breathe in there because of the laws of the service animals. I got tenants in there with service cats that have sprayed all over. Emotional support animals, I'm sorry. There is a different category, but they're still protected by fair housing. The units have been just in disrepair. When I go to do unit inspections, I almost can't breathe in a couple of the units, so I invite the assessors to please walk through the interior. Look at the exterior, and let's have some considerations. I did bring my leases. I would, try to come to terms on something for gross sorry.
Okay, thank you. Questions?
No questions.
Okay, your 3 minutes begin now.
Let's see. This property at 9 Hawthorne Avenue is being assessed as a 1945 fourplex for 2024 at $261,942 on 0.32 acres in West Pocatello. If you'll turn to the comparables page, subject property in 1945, price per square foot is at $70. Comp 1, also in Pocatello, fourplex, year built 1935, price per square foot $79. Comp number 2, also in Pocatello, a fourplex, built in 1920, price per square foot $135. Comparable number 3, also a fourplex in Pocatello, 1930 build, price per square foot $103. The subject property is being assessed as a 1945 fourplex with no updates. The sales vicinity map for this subject property shows where the comparables lie in relation to the subject property. Let's see. Oh, and we would like to recommend a re-inspect for any structural issues this property may have to the board.
Okay. Questions, what you just said?
Yeah, how long does that last for my questioning? Yes, I do have questions.
Your questions are all directed to us.
Okay. My questions would be, I haven't had time to look at these comparable properties or drive by and see if they have parking to accommodate tenants, to see if they have mature trees and need tree work, to see if they have foundation issues. It's tough when you go with comparables. I understand the real estate market when they pull them comps.
Okay, now you're debating what they said. You're not asking
All
a
right.
question.
Do I have the ability to submit leases and look at different kinds of approach to income concerning this property, since the condition of this property is not on market value and there's depreciation? Can
You
we?
had the ability to do that ahead of this hearing, and you didn't. So, we don't do that during this hearing here.
Okay. I'm not sure if I had the ability, but I'll respect what you say.
Well, when you received your notice, you had the ability to go to the clerk's office, and that's been for the last 2.5 weeks.
Okay.
So, yes, ma'am.
Well, I was just going to say that, I'm going to back up what my appraiser said, that if we could go out and do a re-inspect and look at some of these conditions that he has pictures for, we would be more than happy to do that. And maybe come down and make some suggestions.
And you can do that within the next week?
Yes, sir, we can. We can do it as
Okay.
soon as Mr. Hardy can take us.
So, Commissioner Crowder?
Sounds reasonable to me.
Okay, so we'll follow the council or the suggestion of the assessor. They're gonna come out to your place and reevaluate, look everything over within the next week before we end BOE, and come back with a suggestion for us.
Can that be done on a Friday, so I don't have to miss an appointment?
Yes, we could do it next Friday, yeah. We
Well,
could do it because we will
You
have.
got a holiday in the middle of it that they don't work, so.
Right, and we will have people in the office on the 5th, so we can accommodate that.
Well, I'll let you guys work that out, but they're being very generous at trying to come and work with you, so.
That's generous. I
Well-
would like them to at least walk around the outside and the inside, and let's review some stuff, yes.
Okay, so we'll go ahead and put this on hold until they have the opportunity to reevaluate it. All right?
Okay,
Thank
you,
you.
sir.
Douglas? You've heard the instructions, so when you introduce yourself, your time will begin.
Thank you, Chairman Moser, Commissioner Crowder. My name is Doug Balfour. I'm the property owner at 5171 Daisy Lane. And the basis for my appeal to the contest to the Board of Equalization is based upon the value of my lot. You can see from the attached assessment notice that in 2022, my lot was valued at $92,000, and this year it's up to $112,000, so it went up $20,000. Back when it went up last year, I had a meeting with the assessor and asked him why it went up. It's a large lot, it's in Johnny Creek, it's in a cirque, it's real steep. I just built my house at the bottom of the lot 20 years ago, so there's nothing else could be built. And they said, well, it's a large lot, so you get a lot of privacy, no one can build behind you. Well, that didn't happen. A property owner on the other side of the hill, coming up Arlington, split his lot and put a second house right in my backyard, as you can see from the photos. And so I don't have that privacy that the assessor said was the basis for raising the valuation $22,000. And so that's the basis for my appeal. That privacy that was the basis, according to the assessor that I met with, was the fact that I had a large lot and therefore I could have that privacy. Well, that's disappeared when the city allowed that lot split and put a second house on the same lot right above me. You can see from the pictures, for instance, picture number 1 is from my bathroom window, and it looks right out onto their house. The others look down on my back living room and on my deck, and so that privacy is gone, Commissioner Moser, and that's the basis for my appeal. I request that the lot valuation be returned to what it was 2 years ago.
Okay. Any questions? Okay. Your 3 minutes begin now.
Good afternoon. After reviewing this parcel, I noticed a couple things. One, it was fully reviewed in 2022, and it was also, there was another pre-BOE review done in 2023 where they spoke to the owner, and it was, the file's been perfected, so everything with the improvements look good. As far as the land, there is a 10% location adjustment for topography. Let's see here. And I was able to find quite a few comparables on page 4. One of them actually being 2 houses, well, actually 3 houses south of his neighbor. Subject property is at 5171 Daisy Lane, 1.56 acres. It's a 2-story home. It's got 3,983 square feet, and it's valued at $129 per square foot. Comparable to is actually the neighbor off of Daisy Lane as well. A little slight smaller acreage, same house type. It's at 3,895, so really close in finished square footage. And it's going for $142 a square foot. Comparable 3 at Ethan's Way, same style home, same era. It's at $142 a square foot. And comparable 3 is another 2-story on Carly Drive. And it's at 3,761 square feet, being valued at $131 per square foot. So he's under on a few and then slightly under on the other 2 comparables. All of these were within, wasn't even a mile, all in Johnny Creek. So they're all sales from that Johnny Creek area. Trying to think if I have anything else other than the 10% that he's already getting on his additional acres. I just asked that, I think the values are there, and I just asked that you guys uphold the assessed value.
Okay, questions about what he just said?
Well, the only question I have is, and I didn't hear the response, was above those other acreages is the McDevitt property, which is not subdivided, which is a giant farm. And so there's no possibility of losing that privacy there.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner, anything?
Do you guys, when you're doing your appraisals, are you looking at issues like privacy and stuff like that?
Not necessarily. I mean, it's a subdivision.
Right.
The rest of the houses around them all have neighboring parcels in front and back. So, and we don't know if they're going to add a subdivision on right away, do an extension, so it's kind of hard to, and the other thing is, it is somebody else's property.
Right.
So at any time, they do have the right to, if it is buildable, we don't determine whether it's buildable or not. He'd have to get a land determination on that, or they would, but if somebody builds behind him, that's totally their right to do so.
So I think you have the land value here at 112,472.
It is.
I'm looking at the
yep,
comp page.
It is.
Yeah, and so how did you come up with that land value compared to the other land values here?
So everybody should have the same, I believe it's 81,000 for that first acre.
Okay.
And then the additional acres follow. Beyond that is the values, but he's also getting 10%, a negative 10% adjustment on.
Because of the topography?
Correct, yes.
Okay.
On the additional acres only, not the
Yeah.
first acre.
And in the comps, his acreage is double.
I saw
Yeah,
that.
it's bigger.
So just looking at this myself, actually from last year, you've come down $10,000 in the value, total value of your property,
Including the improvements.
including the improvements.
Yeah, no, I was just
So-
appealing the lot.
And so, and actually, from the direction and from what we see, I know what you're saying about the view, but your comparables and the other comparables are, your acreage is 1.56, the next one is 0.8, the next one is 0.3, and the next one is 0.75. So like he just stated, the first acre is 81,000. That's the basic lot size in your area, and that's the price. And then your lot is half as big as the others, so. Any other concerns?
To me, it looks like it's pretty much in line with where it ought to be.
Okay. So going according to our statutes, I don't see a preponderance of evidence to change from what the assessors have said. So I'd make a motion that on parcel RPRPJCE001700, that we uphold the assessor's value. We have a motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. So we upheld their value. You have the ability to appeal to the state or to the district courts. You'll get a letter here in about 30 days that'll say what happened here today, and then you can decide what you want to do then. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Steve.
Hello, my name's Steve Richards. I have a property out on Marsh Creek Road out by McCammon. I'm glad I got to watch these other guys first because I have no clue what goes on here. But the reason I'm kind of contesting my property is it's broke up into two parcels. One parcel is being basically taxed as a sellable property. It's not a sellable property. It's kind of a wasteland, it's wetlands. You can't build a house on it. Can't build a bridge across the wetlands because it probably costs $2-3 million to do that and to bring power back there. And so it's basically just an extension of the property.
And let me just stop you right here for a minute, okay? Because off of their worksheet, I don't know if you had the opportunity to talk to them or not, but they've
did.
adjusted the value down to $83,214.
Correct, and the conversation was
Okay.
what happened there, because I'm a working man and apparently I should have been doing this a long time ago, and it jumped to double this year and it caught my attention. Where did my zoning go for my back section to residential? It can't be built on.
Well, everything can be built on. I can just say that pieces that we've sold, they got a piece that we sold right up here on the side of the hill that is now fourplexes. So I've heard that a lot, but
Understand? And
but I'm just saying that you're protesting even with that they come down to 83,000.
yes, and
Okay.
if you look,
I just wanted to verify with that, just so that we're on the same page.
yes, and,
Okay.
and when I filled out the form, it isn't even worth 25,000 back there, but it
Okay.
is what it is.
Go ahead then. I'm sorry for interrupting you. I just
And
wanted to
so-
make sure we was on the same page.
The only way it could be a tax as a buildable property is if I'd allow them to drive through my front yard to access it and allow them to pull power all through my front yard, clear, 700 yards, 600 yards? It's not. The properties on each side, there's no fair or equitable system here because 400 yards away, the guy I bought it from, 200 yards away, he's taxed at $450 for the same property. And when I bought it from him, it was all the same zoning. I don't know what I've done wrong or what I need to do. Just head me in the right direction because I always thought it was rural agricultural. And now I'm seeing this and actually paying attention. It's definitely not being taxed as that. It's being taxed as being able to be sold.
Okay?
That's all I got.
Any questions? Okay, your 3 minutes begin now.
Okay, I would just like to point out that ag is a use, and if it's being used for agricultural purposes, then a different rate is put on it, but it has to be currently used for those agricultural purposes. And we don't necessarily look at zoning, it's more use. Subject property is being used as just an extension of the main parcel. It's being used as additional acres, his backyard. It does have Marsh Creek that runs through it, and it does butt up against United States land. So having said that, it is, does have a building on it that is sometimes they get so old and falling down that there is no value to it. So that was, the value of that was removed. 5.75 acres. If you jump to the comparable sheet, it does show subject property coming in at 33 cents per square foot, where the three comparables, one's coming in at 65, 76, and 108. And I went ahead and put this in here just so that we can see the discounted rate at 0.33 versus what a normal parcel would sell for. This parcel, he's absolutely right. It would be very, very difficult to ever build on, even if planning and zoning, allowed it. And it's being used as his backyard. So it needs to be valued as such. If you turn to the next page, it's just the map showing where the comparables are. And that the assessor office does recommend that value be brought in to $83,214. Thank you.
Okay. Questions about what she just said?
Yes, because like I say, 150 yards away, 120 yards away from me is same property, only more accessible to be built on. It's previous county commissioners, freaking $480 land value for 6 acres, not 5.75 acres.
And is it rated at ag rather than?
It
So
must
is
be
that
an
what I-
ag, yeah. It's
So how do I get it
Yeah.
as zoned? It's the same property.
But do you-
it's current use, so you would
This
have.
year, you can't do anything. If you have animals on it, you will have the opportunity to come in and apply for the ag exemption. But this year, you don't.
Right, you would have to qualify, and we take those applications until April 15th of the next year. And so you would have to qualify as an ag
So
parcel.
you'd need to go by and visit with this office to see if you could qualify for that.
Okay, and that office is where? Just
Straight across the street, straight across the street.
Okay.
You know,
And if he goes over there right now or in the future, you need to ask for a lady by the name of Chrissy. Chrissy will get you an application and get you moving in the right
Okay,
place, okay?
appreciate it, guys.
So, any comments?
No, I think you've confirmed you're not using it for agricultural uses at the moment.
Won't feed 4 cows for 2 months.
Okay.
Okay. So I'd make a motion that on parcel R 40570157001, that we adjust to the assessor's new proposed correction, which would be 83,214. We have a motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. So,
Thanks, sir.
all right,
Appreciate
thank you.
What room is that?
It's just across the street in the annex building.
Okay.
All right, James,
Hey, good afternoon.
hello. Go ahead and
Okay,
introduce yourself, and then your 3 minutes will begin.
yeah, thank you. My name's Jim Upchurch. I own a 1-acre parcel up on Green Canyon, just east of Inkom. And, I looked at the assessment this year, and it increased 150% from 49,000 in '23 to 100,000 in '24. So, I started looking around, and I did talk to the assessor. They said that it was, I guess, the comps up there are in neighborhoods. There's a Peerless Place, there's a Coyote Holler down there. There's a lot of new construction going on. So I fully understand that, and I fully expected it to go up, don't get me wrong. I started looking around, and I couldn't find a 1-acre comparison. I can't remember if the assessor actually found a 1 acre comparison or not, but, so I pulled some recent listings for 2+ acres, and they were in my packet that I submitted. And when you calculate that, down to 1 acre, it does come out to around 70 to 80,000. I'm not arguing that, right? I just thought 150% was excessive. And then there's no power. There's, obviously no fiber up that high, up Green Canyon. It's about a mile down from Pebble Creek, the ski area there. But, so, I'm just requesting possibly another assessment if there's no 1 acre comparisons. And if we use multiple acre comparisons, could we adjust it over? That's all I've got.
Okay. Any questions?
No, this time.
Okay, your 3 minutes begin now.
Okay. Most of the parcels up in that area do not have utilities to them yet. Some obviously have because they have homes on them. But in looking over, his is a 1 acre parcel in Pebble Woodlots off of Green Canyon Road. It's a buildable lot with road frontage. We currently have it valued at $100,380 or $2.30 per square foot for the assessment year of 2024. We looked at it, and the parcel had been artificially held low due to a prior BOE decision that we missed removing until this last year. It had stayed on for like 3 extra years because I believe it was like a 2021. So that was removed this year, bringing it up. So it hadn't been adjusted in increments over the last few years like other properties up in that area. I did find some comparables. There's a 1 acre bare land parcel outside of Income. It's also in a rural subdivision. It sold in October of last year for $130,000. When we time adjust that to January 1st, it would come in at $139,750 or $3.21 per square foot. And there, I just want to mention, in that same subdivision, there was like 5, and they were all similar in size and all similar sell prices in between 130 and 140. And then if you time adjust them, they'd all come up to around 139 to 150,000 for those. And then to get closer to the subject property, right off of East Green Canyon, there was one in Peerless Parcels. It was a little over an acre at 1.11. Also bare land, didn't have utilities to it quite yet. Sold for $95,000 back in 2021. And if you time adjust it, it would be right around the subject property's value at $103,550 or $2.14 per square foot. And comparable number 3 is also in that same Peerless Parcels right off Green Canyon. It's a little bit larger, but it also sold for a little bit more at $155,000, also back in 2021. But you time adjust it, and it would be $168,950 or $2.79 a square foot. So in my opinion, looking at the comparables, it looks as though he's being fair and equitably valued compared to the area. I have just asked that we uphold the value of $100,380.
Thank you. Questions about what you just said?
No, I appreciate the explanation there and the details. So, yeah, I'm okay, with that, keeping it as is.
Okay.
I really just wanted to come and hear it, so thank you.
And as she explained it, I mean, your property value hasn't increased in 4 years.
Yeah.
And that hasn't happened.
Yeah.
Just plain and simple, that hasn't
There's been a
happened.
lot of building up there. That is a good point.
But I will tell you that on the comparables on the west side of Income are not good comparables. Because they have power, they have, water, I mean, they have power, they have fiber, they have all that stuff.
Right.
in
They are
that
also
thing.
being sold for more than what we have him
Yeah,
valued at.
well, you have it there at the same value.
Oh, we do?
That's the 1 acre, basically. That was number 2. 139. That's 321 an acre, or a square
Yeah,
foot.
they sold
just-
for 130, and we have him at 100, and they are at 139,750,
Yeah.
basically.
So,
Yeah.
all right, we'll just make a motion to uphold the assessor's value on parcel RPRRWPW0003.
You got that wrong.
What is it?
RPRRPW.
It's the WPW. I accidentally put it wrong on my sheet.
Okay.
But
Am I saying this
on-
right now, or no?
On his, it's accurate on
Oh, on this one, that's what I.
WPW.
Never mind.
You read it off that one. Read it off
Never
that one.
mind. You go ahead, Commissioner. I'm sorry.
Oh, we'll get it, we'll get the right one here. How's that? All we
I
gotta do is
accidentally
find it.
transposed my letters.
Okay, I have an RPRRWPW000300. We will uphold the assessor's value. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you, I appreciate your time.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, let's go to the administrative ones.
Which one's that first?
Well, I'm going to go out of order just a little bit. Let's go to Classy Holdings.
Commissioner, we have like a 3-minute recess?
Let's be at recess.